I'm so honored to be here with a genius. I like to hang out with geniuses. This is Cal Beisner, and he wrote some stuff called Resisting the Green Dragon. And we're here to talk about what is the Green Dragon, because I think I know. First of all, Cal, thank you for doing this.
Hey, you're welcome. Glad to.
And where did you get the title?
Well, the title, Resisting the Green Dragon, comes from the fact that in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, a serpent brings the first temptation to Adam and Eve. And in the judgment on man's sin, God speaks to the serpent, and he tells the serpent that he will put enmity, warfare, between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. And the whole Bible is the story of that warfare between the devil and his servants and God and his servants. Ultimately, that is won by Jesus Christ on the cross, where he destroyed the works of the devil. Now, in the book of Revelation, we are introduced to the dragon, which is representative of the devil. And so in the Bible, dragon represents devil, and James chapter 4 verse 7 says, "Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Now, we see the environmental movement, although millions of rank-and-file grassroots environmentalists are perfectly sincere people, and they're not into really devilish stuff, nonetheless, the top leadership of that movement and the basic ideas of that movement are fundamentally anti-Christian. They are devilish, in a sense, and therefore, the green movement is headed up by the green dragon. So, and if we resist that, the Lord tells us he will flee.
Good title. And it reminds me of pantheism, because when I keep seeing these people who seem to value trees and animals more than human beings, I start to think they're worshiping the creation, not the creator,
Yes.
and that's called pantheism.
Yeah, that's very often the case. The environmental movement as a whole has an anti-Christian worldview, theology, and ethics. It uses poor science, it uses poor economics, and because of that, it advances policies that are dangerous to the poor, and at the same time, it really offers a whole substitute religion. It's got its own doctrines of God, creation, humanity, sin, and redemption, and most of the environmental movement is either atheistic and secular, there is no God, matter and energy is all there is, that's secular humanist kind of thinking, or Marxist thinking, or it's pantheistic. It may be a sort of a renewal of the ancient New Age movement, the ancient Gnostic movement, the New Age movement, Hindu, Buddhist kind of thinking, or it may be what's called panentheistic, where God is is to the world as the soul is to the body, or it may be animistic, meaning rocks, trees, rivers, mountains, animals, and so on have spirits, have deities that live within them and animate them. So those all really are fundamentally oneist in their worldview. That is, they think all reality is of basically one sort. Material sort, if it's atheistic, or spiritual sort, or a spiritual material mix. But in any case, there's a denial that there is one being who is the creator, and everything else is created. Christianity is fundamentally twoist. It is dualistic, creator and creation. Environmentalist movement is primarily oneist, monist. There is only all reality, the universe, no God.
Okay, I have one more question. And then you have to get the Resisting the Green Dragon, and you can... Okay, but I just have one more question. Did you want to ask him, tell him something?
Yeah, the Mangawati lecture was it Peter Jones?
Peter Jones
In that-
lecture.
Get
No,
close
honey,
up
I
on
don't think
him.
we should try to get into that much detail.
Right.
Okay,
You're
my
gonna edit
last
this?
question. Yeah. Okay, my last question is, since ClimateGate proved that the IPCC and the EPA have no scientific data to prove that humans cause global warming. Anthropogenic global warming. Since we all, people who care, know there's no scientific basis for that, why is our president basing all of his policies, no oil drilling, even though the oil spill, nature cleaned it up in less than a year, no gas, no coal.
No new coal-fired plants. Yeah.
Right. Why is he basing all of his policies on an unscientific, unproven hypothesis that's a lie?
Well, part of it is simply that a lot of people don't realize yet that there is not good scientific basis for belief in catastrophic anthropogenic global warming. Another part of it, frankly, though, is that the environmentalist movement as a whole is anti-economic development, anti-industry, anti-wealth, because it sees a strong, wealthy economy as a hazard, a risk to the natural world. What it doesn't realize is that a wealthy economy is the very best friend to the environment. Because you see, if you're so poor that you're worried about putting food on the table, clothes on the back, and a roof over the head, you frankly don't care about deforestation, toxic runoff into streams, or ozone depletion, or species extinction, or any of the other big concerns of the environmental movement. You have much more important matters on your mind. Am I going to be able to feed my child a meal tomorrow? That's the fundamental thing. But when you get wealthy, so that food, clothing, shelter, transportation, education, medical care, things like that are all reliably available to you, then suddenly you think, you know, I'd like to live in a clean, beautiful, healthful environment. And not only do you care about it, but now you can do something about it. A clean, healthful, beautiful environment is a costly good. And like any other costly goods, wealthy people can afford more of them than poor people can. But the environmentalists think that a wealthy economy is bad for nature, so therefore they want to kill strong economies. And they want to push us toward especially energy sources that are inefficient, unreliable, and very expensive, which is why Obama told us during his campaign for the White House that if he were elected, energy prices, electricity prices would skyrocket. It's exactly what he's after.
Do you think he's on purpose trying to destroy the middle class to redistribute the wealth?
Well, certainly Obama wants to redistribute wealth. He's told us that also during his campaign when he was asked by Joe the plumber about that very matter, and he responded that we needed to redistribute the wealth, spread it around a little bit.
The environmentalism cause as an excuse to really do Marxist stuff like that?
Yes. In fact, the co-chairman of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a German economist named Otto, and I've forgotten now his last name, but he said in November of last year, leading up to the Cancun Climate Summit, he said specifically that the negotiations going on there were not about climate change at all. They were all about redistributing the wealth of the world from the wealthy developed countries of the West to the developing countries of the Third World.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We kind of just threw this together in the living room, the library, and thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming.
And you guys have to get a hold of these and show it to your liberal friends who don't know the truth yet. Thank you.